As lunch hour approaches, we make one more dusty landing. It is time for Naveen Jindal to gather some blessings.
लोगों की सेवा करें, इस देश की तरक्की, इस देश की अखंडता और इस देश की एकता को बनाए रखें।
I want to ask you, you've been talking about accountability throughout this interview. What are the real practical ways of bringing about this accountability? Because a lot of people in Indian politics talks about this accountability. It never actually happens. In real terms, it seems to be very difficult. What are the one or two ways you can actually bring that in?
You're right. To actually make sure that people are accountable, it is not easy because it depends a lot on the people themselves. You know, as a member of parliament, I mean, after getting elected, what I do, it really depends on me. You know, so it's very difficult. That's why we have to make sure, like, you know, in politics, people who are not accountable, you know, we are accountable to the people at least. But then there are lots of places, especially when we talk of bureaucracy. I mean, a lot of times, you know, we feel that they are accountable, but then they somehow are able to get away with it. You know, somehow able to get away without really delivering. I mean, there are all types. I'm not stereotyping that all bureaucrats are bad, and especially even at a lower level. I feel there, you know, people who are at the ground level, who are actually supposed to be implementing the things, there the accountability needs to improve much more.
So what can we do to ensure that?
I think we just have to be very firm about it also, and there has to be, suppose if somebody...
No, but is there a mechanism system that we can develop?
Sure, of course, that's a matter of detail, but I'm sure it can be. Suppose you have a teacher and whose students are failing or whose students are not doing well, then obviously you do know that other places the teachers are, if they are not able to deliver results, then there should be action against them. You know, they should be warned, something should be done. Or if somebody is constantly being absent but still getting, his presence marked, there should be action against them.
As a member of parliament, do you find it easy to ensure this kind of stricture?
No, as a member of parliament, I do not have, or any member of parliament, they do not have any executive power. Right? So we can do whatever just by our own conduct, just by writing letters, by doing, but you know, the members of parliament do not have any direct, executive power, and I feel that also is wrong, because when we do contest elections, when we do come in between people and ask for their votes, ask for their support, the people also do expect a lot from us. So we also, I think, need to improve. You know, we have to make give more executive powers to MLAs and MPs, so that they are actually able to implement what they promise.
And who keeps the politician accountable?
People do keep the politicians accountable, because they have to go for re-election. People also, and the political parties also, because political parties...
Is there need for therefore parties? I mean, one of the things that we've been talking about is criminalization, for instance.
Yeah.
And that's purely because parties are not as stringent as they should be.
No, but I think responsible parties like the Congress party, they are very, very clear about this, and they really, do make sure that they do not encourage any criminals.
Lunch at the home of a local legislator. It is time to ask Naveen Jindal some final questions.
There's always been a despair about politicians. People like you, a lot of people believe, including people like me, will buck that trend, that there will be no longer despair, because people like you and people like me can finally have a conversation. I mean, we've had a history where one could never have a conversation with a politician, you know. What are the key three things that you believe will change, and especially because you're in a party which has a history of letting young people work for the party and now has a definitive approach towards getting more young people? What are the key three things that must happen, and how will that change Indian politics?
I can't pinpoint the three things.
Yeah, but one thing then?
No, many things need to happen. Sure. I mean, everywhere. Firstly, whatever that billions of dollars or billions of rupees that we spend, that needs to be spent properly. People need to be more accountable. The government delivery mechanism, that needs to improve. And most importantly, it's no government, no particular leader, no chief minister, no prime minister. Leaders do not have a magical wand. So the people also have to play their role. So everyone has to play. I have to play my role. You have to play your role. And as a leader, I believe people do not do what we say. People do what we do. So if our own conduct is good, if we ourselves lead by example, then I am sure we can bring about a change. So this is my effort, is to be able to do good work, being an honest person, to do my job as a politician really, really well, and then in an effort to make a change. Making changes, bringing about changes is not very easy. But then, this is an attempt, slowly, we are trying to, and all of us have to contribute to it. So there are lots of things, and we have to root out corruption completely. We have to bring in more and more transparency, and I think in which our UPA government has played a very important role, especially with the right to information bill.
Sure.
There's a lot more transparency now in the system than ever it was.
Sure.
Things like that, we have to make sure that we provide gainful employment to our millions of youth, because when we say that we have a very large population of the youth, then it's our responsibility of the government, of the society, that we must give the youth a chance to contribute towards the country. So if we lose this opportunity, it's unfortunate for the youth, but it's even more unfortunate for the country.
Naveen Jindal, here's wishing that you always keep the flag flying high.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
The interview is over, but on the way back, we stopped by to take a look at what first brought Naveen Jindal to national prominence. His legal battle to get every Indian the right to fly the tricolour at any time. It is a battle he won, and that's why he wears the flag on his chest all the time. In memory, perhaps, of that victory, even as he prepares for many more battles, Naveen Jindal has built one of the tallest flag towers in India.